view, what the bosses view. You gotta sacrifice if you wanna move like bosses move.
YMA, Young Millionaires Association. Yeah, see, that's the association. Joe.
All right, guys. Welcome to YMA Nation Podcast, episode number 17 for Wealth Building Monday.
Wow, we're at 17 already.
You did it this time. You excited?
Yeah.
Number 17.
17 already.
Man, I can't wait until we're like, God,
100.
welcome to YMA Nation. Hey, you know what? Hey, I'm glad you said that. For the YMA, for episode 100, we're going to give someone $100.
Sounds good.
And I got to make an announcement.
Calendar.
I have to make an announcement. If you are not following the YMA Nation Facebook page,
yes.
if you are not following the YMA Nation Facebook page, you have to, because on there's a post that's going around online, and we are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And if we hit 1,000 subscribers by December the 31st, we are going to give away $1,000. $1,000. So on Facebook, everybody that was online, they said, because I was asking, how would you guys like to have it? One person to win. One person win 1,000, or 2 people win 500, or 4 people win 250, or 10 people win 100. And all the votes was like 10 people, $100. Yeah. So if we get to 1,000 subscribers by December the 31st, we are going to give away $1,000, $100 a piece to 10 winners, which will total $1,000.
Hey, that means y'all have to like, comment, and subscribe.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Yes, guys. So thank you for joining us for Wealth Building Monday, episode number 17. I am Joe Wallace, and this is
Rebecca Wallace.
There you go. You sound like motivated today, guys. Make sure you like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. So we are going to get started. Before we get into the episode today, we are going to talk about understanding credit cards. But we have to do our drawing.
Yeah.
We got to do the drawing first.
I like how he tried to zoom past that.
I wasn't, though. I wanted them to know the topic. So then, oh my God, credit cards. So everybody let us talk about credit cards. That's the big thing right now. But we have to do our drawing. And this is from last week, from episode number 14, right?
Right.
Everyone who put in a keyword, their name is in the drawing. And it's a huge pot right now, too, of people that submitted. So thank you to everyone who took the time. If you're unsure of how to join or how to go into the drawing, if you look down in the description, you'll see on the top, there's a link. And you click that link, and it will take you to the website. And all you have to do is put in a keyword and your information.
That's easy.
It's easy money.
Right.
You're watching the podcast, gaining great information, and you get an opportunity to win free cash.
Yep.
You're not going to steal my word today?
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not going to steal it today.
No,
maybe next one.
Easy peasy. She knows that's my term right there. Easy peasy. All right, guys. So let's get started on the drawing, right?
All right.
Winner number 1 is Ashley Conrad.
All right.
Ashley Conrad, congratulations.
Hey, she was on Facebook Live.
She was on Facebook Live. Yep. Ashley Conrad, congratulations. You just won yourself $25. All
right.
All right, y'all ready for the next person? The next person.
All right.
She seen a little shake on. She had to make sure she didn't grab more than one person. We got some new people that's starting to win. Jewel Harris.
All right.
Jewel Harris. Congratulations, Jewel.
Good job. Thank you for following.
Yeah, thank you for taking the time to go into the drawing and putting the keyword. All right, look at that start right on time. This is going to be a great episode. We are going to talk about understanding credit cards. And the reason this is so important is because we both work in a field where credit cards are somehow involved in people achieving their goals in our like in real estate, and helping people start a small business or expand a business or in a under
Personal
master's credit. Right. So if you guys need help on your consumer credit, make sure you contact
Master's Credit Consultants, 864-249-9466.
Master's Credit Consultant, www.masterscredit.com.
Yep.
Masterscredit.com, guys. If you need help building your credit, trying to repair your credit, masterscredit.com.
I started off checking it every other week, just like most people do. Then it got out of control. I couldn't help myself. I started checking it day after day after day. I didn't realize that I was becoming addicted until my wife said something.
What did she say?
She said, "It's just a credit score, relax."
Are you checking your credit score?
Huh? Hold on.
Yep.
Okay, so let's talk about understanding credit cards, right? What is a credit card? A credit card is a piece of plastic that a bank gives you with a line of credit on it. So based on your credit score and your credit profile, this bank X say they're going to check your credit and say, based on your credit, I'm going to give you an open line of credit for $1,000 or $2,000. I'm going to ship you a credit card. So I'm going to give you this money to borrow if needed. If you borrow on this card, if you're going to swipe this card or use the card online, you're going to pay me back my money. You have an option to pay it back in a small, low payment every month. But I want my full amount back plus interest.
Right.
Plus interest. So that's a credit card. I tried to bring it down to like layman terms.
Right.
So you guys could really understand a credit card. I mean, I should ask you how many credit cards you got. You got a lot of credit cards, don't you? And a lot. We're going to get into talking more about credit cards. One of the main things that we're going to talk about, what people seem to have challenges with on a credit card, is understanding when the payment is due versus when it reports to the credit bureaus. Mm-hmm. Being able to see like the reports that goes out to the clients, and then clients like, well, I don't understand. I made my payment. I paid this on X date.
All the time. I mean, that's like one of the common emails that we may get back in from clients, right, or phone calls that we have from clients is, well, I don't understand. I paid the card off 10 days ago, so that's not the correct balance.
Right.
Or, well, I paid it when it was due, and I paid, $40 or $50 on it. Why is it reporting this balance?
Right. So I want to help explain that. Is that so if I have a credit card and the payment is due on the 10th. Okay. And so if I make my payment today, so if I have a $1,000 card,
right,
and I owe $100 on that card, mm-hmm, and my payment is due on the 10th, which is tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm just throwing out dates though.
Right.
But say if tomorrow, and then I make that payment in full of $100, when the report date, so it's due on the 10th, it's going to close out. It has a statement date. That's when it closes. And then that bank sends out a report to the credit bureaus, which is normally 3 to 5 days after your date is due.
Right.
So let me come back.
Okay.
So my card payment is due on the 10th. I pay it.
Right.
It's not going to report to the credit bureaus until 3 to 5 days afterwards.
Right. Possibly, depending on what bank it is.
Right, and depending on the weekend, holidays, right, approximately 3 to 5 days afterwards. What we see is that people will say it's due on the 10th, mm-hmm, and they'll pay it off on the 4th. I paid it off on the 4th in full. Mm-hmm. And then they come back and use the card before the 10th. Mm-hmm. And then that amount that they use, that's the amount that reports to the credit bureaus. And they say, well, that's not right because I paid it off in full.
Right.
But that amount was still on your card before the statement date closed out.
Right.
So let me go back to another one. The card is due on the 10th, right? I pay it off. I owe $100 on a card, and I pay it on the 9th, right? So the 10th happens. The 10th comes, and then the 11th passes. Then on the 12th, I go and put $50 on the card, and then it reports to the credit bureaus with $50, and then we'll get back a response on email like, no, when my card was due, I paid the full amount. So I think this is going to truly help people understand that the date that your payment is due is not the date that it's going to report to the credit bureaus. So yeah, so explaining that, right, that when it's due doesn't mean that that's the date that it's actually going to hit your credit profile.
Right.
So that's interesting. But I think it's great education for people to understand that.
Right.
Yeah. The next thing we want to talk about with understanding the credit card is interest rates. Interest rates, right? And people say, well, I'm paying so much on my card payment and it doesn't seem like it's moving. It's because the interest rate is so high. So when you apply for a credit card and say your credit score is at a 580, so you can get approved for a $200 card, a store card, and those store cards have high interest rates. The average store card is like around 26.9% interest rate.
Wow.
So what that means is that if I go and buy a $50 shirt, that the interest rate on that shirt at 26%, that's extremely high.
Right.
The best thing to focus on or to understand about a interest rate is the better your credit score is, then the best rates that you'll get on a credit card. And that's always important. I don't care. I know we're talking about credit cards right now, but we're talking, that is across the board. Whether you're buying a house, a car, anything that is going to apply interest, that's always should be your priority, is getting the lowest rate possible.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So when you have good credit, you should focus on when you are applying for a credit card. I don't care if it's your bank or you're online applying for a card. You should always try to focus on cards that has an offer like 0% rates for like 12 months or 15 months. That means if I was to go and buy that same shirt that's $50, I'm not going to pay any interest on it, right? So I'm borrowing from you. You say, Joe, here go $50, pay me $50 back. Not Joe, here go $50, pay me back $58.
Right.
Over a period of time. Guys, the key word today is credit card, because that's what we're talking about.
Hey.
So credit card is the key word for the day. Interest rate. So again, another reason why it is important to focus on having a great rate with credit, because the higher your credit score is, then not only if you have the option to get like a 0% card, but then so many other opportunities, like these premium cards have travel rewards. They come with points. They come with cash back. And you want to take advantage of that, because just like we're talking about free money, like it's free.
Right.
And you familiar with
planes.
that. Book flights. Book flights.
Book flights.
Yeah. But it all matters. It all matters because if I apply for a card today, it's a premium card, and they say, look, if you spend $3,000 on this card in 90 days, that's 3 months, you'll get 100,000 points.
Right.
I'm about to put everything on that card that I would normally pay cash with. I'm paying cash, it's going anyway.
Right.
So if I get gas and that cash is paid, it's gone. I'm gonna put it on a card, I'm gonna pay it off.
Right.
I'm not going to allow it, even if it don't have a 0% rate on it, I'm not going to allow it to gain in interest, because I'm going to purchase, and then tomorrow or the following day, as soon as that charge posts, I'm paying it off.
Right.
No interest. Right? But once I spend $4,000 because I paid my light bill, car insurance, gas, lunch, groceries, every possible thing that I could get up to $3,000, those $100,000 points. When it's time for us to go on vacation, guess what? That flight, 50,000 points. Right. First class. Right. So now I just got 2 round trip first class flights for free for just having great credit, obtaining the right credit card, and gaining those points.
Exactly.
And imagine if you got several cards like
that you're doing that with. Right.
Right. And we're doing that. We could talk from experience.
That goes for hotels, rental cars. So, you're pretty much using points to pay for your vacation.
Or anything, right? Anything that you may be just going out of town.
Right.
You may be going to see family, and that stay at the hotel is free on points, courtesy of your credit card lender. So you want to take advantage of that. The other thing people talk about is annual fees too. So annual fees, it depends on the type of card that you have. When you start getting these top premium cards and you start paying $200 in annual fees, they say you have to pay to play. You have to pay to play. So if you want to start getting into like these big American Express cards and these big Chase cards, it's going to come with fees, right? But the points that you gain from it should supersede, right, or offset that annual fee. As long as you use the card appropriately. One thing that I would like to talk about is cash advance fees with credit cards. I would advise anyone to stay away from pulling out cash on a credit card. Cash advance fees have the highest fees that I've ever seen on like a card. So avoid, I'm trying to teach you guys about understanding credit cards. Avoid cash advance fees.
Gotcha.
The interest rates are just way too high, way above what the average rate would be. Here's something that people call and ask about. I got a thing in the mail, and it says I'm pre-qualified.
Right.
How often do we get that? I got a thing in the mail because we're telling someone, hey, you're getting ready to buy a house. Don't add new inquiries on your credit. And then, boom, we do that update. And they got a new inquiry, and it's from Chase or Discover. And we contact them, and they're like, oh, I got the thing in the mail. It said I was pre-qualified, so I just went online and did it. But they denied me. A pre-qualification does not guarantee your approval, right? It means that a computer scanned over, did like a soft inquiry. Right. A soft mean that it's not going to be like a actually show up on your credit, on your credit bureau report. It's just a soft inquiry, just scanned data. They looked at it. They said you may be a good candidate for our card. Once you start putting in your information, your actual income, your zip code, and that's important. A lot of people don't know about that. I guess we have to save that for a future episode. But the zip code, your surrounding area matters. So you put in all of your info and get declined. So if you had a 580, you got new collections on your credit, and you get a pre-qualification in the mail, I will probably hold off.
Right.
I will probably wait till I get to like at least like 640 and above. Now, if you got a doctor bill that's on your credit that's 4 years old or 5 years old, then, and you at like a 630, then it's a good chance. Depending on the card that you're applying for. A good tip is, y'all ready? A good tip is if you do not have any strong credit, or you don't have any type of credit cards on your credit, obtain a secured card.
Yep. Yeah, that's what we advise.
Right.
In the credit business.
And if you are unfamiliar with it, if you need instructions, again, you can always call Masters Credit Consultants, and they'll take you through it for free. It's a free phone call, free information. 864
249-9466.
You got it, guys. Are you trying to start or grow your business? Well, welcome to YMA Financial, where we have created the ultimate platform for entrepreneurs and business owners. We specialize in small business startups. Our accredited business consultants will help turn your dream to a reality. We'll help obtain your business documentation, help you establish and build business credit, And whether you're working from home or storefront, we'll help fully launch your business. Check out our website at www.ymafinancial.com or give us a call at 888-531-6611. Master's credit. So a secure card works. It says that, hey, you give me the money for the car. So say you want a $200 credit limit. Give me $200 of your money as a security deposit, and I'll send you a card.
Right.
You're gonna use this that if you use this card, if you spend $10 on that card, that's your $10 actually that you're spending because you sent them $200 on it.
Right.
But you still have to pay it back because you have to put the credit limit back to $200. That makes sense?
Yes.
A secure card is great, guys. It's an excellent way to build credit and establish credit. I want to talk about something that people like always get like stumbled on this, and I actually put it on the board because we always see is with credit cards, people say, I don't see my scores moving, or I've been with you guys for 3 months and my score's like doing this, right?
Right.
Roller coaster. And then we send them like a analysis that explains why.
Right.
But I think if we can go over it into like a mass population, that'll help them to be preventative.
Okay.
All right. So what I'm going to do,
hold it?
yeah, but I want to make sure it's in the frame too of the screen.
Okay.
All right. So you got it? All right. So we are going to talk about when your scores, this person credit score is at a 580. Right? And they're getting ready for their update. That means that 30 days has passed and say they're with Master's Credit. Master's Credit is going to give them an update on their credit every month. So this is a true scenario. Someone credit score, they're starting off, right? They're at a 580. And they get 2 collections deleted from their credit, which if they would gain around approximately 50 points, depending on the age of the items, which would take their score up to 630. Then they have, during this time frame, their $1,000 credit card that the previous month had a balance of $75, now has a balance of $400. So now the utilization has gone up on that card. So they got a $1,000 card with the 40% debt to credit ratio. I'm going to talk about that before we end. But that lowers their score down. So they gain points by getting the collections deleted, but they lost the points right back by increasing the balance on their credit card, which knocked them down to 590. So when they see their update say, hey, great job. We got 2 collections deleted from your credit, but your credit balance on your credit cards have gone up. So really, I think what the person sees is I started at a 580 and I'm at a 590. All of this, I think, is like just so I figure it would be best to explain like each item and why. So if I'm at a 580, go ahead. I see you want to hop in.
Well, I think that like this is a good scenario for what we see happen.
Right.
But also it's understanding the utilization part of it and how impactful that one specific thing is. Because, yeah, you could say, well, it went up 40%, so they lost those 40 points. But when we do an analysis and we're saying, hey, this is why your scores aren't moving, I think a lot of people still don't understand that
utilization.
That's
the last subject. Yep.
Yeah, is so important to seeing progress in your scores anyway. Like, even if you had all of the negative items removed.
Utilization, right.
You could still be losing over 100 points just because your cards are overutilized.
And we see that all the time, too. All the time. And that is important. So if we're going to go back to the same thing, this $1,000 credit card.
Right.
Right. So I have a $1,000 credit card and online they say you want to keep it at 30% or less.
Mm-hmm.
That means that I should not spend over $300. Or if I do spend over $300, when it's time for me to do a payment on that card, say if I owe $400, I need to pay at least $100 to get it back down to $300. So that $300 is what's going to report to the credit bureau.
And even with Masters Credit Consultants, we say
10%. 10%.
We don't even go up to 30% because we want people to maximize on their score, on their points.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So 10% is a good range to try to aim for. And it may seem hard for someone that's starting off, but guys, as you build credit and you establish more cards and more cards, you have a card that's $1,000, that $1,000 card. Your second card could be a $3,000 card. So now you got a total of $4,000 of credit. Then that next card is a $5,000 card. Now you got a total of $9,000. So now when you spend $400, you're still way under the debt to credit of 10%.
Right.
So,
but also with that though, even though the total is under 10% for their total utilization, sometimes we see that happen, but they'll go and utilize, let's say they have $1,000 card and they have
that one card. Go ahead.
Yeah. They overutilize one card and put it at 50, 60, 70%, and then they see a dip in their scores, and they're like, well, but my total one, my other card is at a zero balance.
Right.
So it's not, it's kind of a tricky scenario because it's utilization altogether can be.
That's a good point, especially right now with the COVID right now. And if I have 5 cards and 4 of the cards are at zero, and I have a card that's 500, and the balance on that card is 490. Like that bank don't want to see that.
Right.
Like that bank do not want to see that. That one bank that may say, hey, you know what? He's carried this balance over two or 3 months. Mm-hmm. So now when you do a payment of $200, then they drop your credit limit from $500 to $300. So now you got a balance of $295 with a credit limit of $300.
Right. Just because the carrying, and we also advise clients, pay it when you pay it off, especially if they've been carrying a balance for a while. When you pay it off, leave it that way for like 60 days.
Right.
And just let it sit for a minute. Let your scores settle in and let the balance reflect zero so they can see that you can actually manage your credit.
Unless you got an American Express charge card, because American Express, they want to see on that charge card, large purchase, payoff, payoff, because that's the habit of the majority of people that have that type of charge card, like a platinum or a gold, or I could keep going, but this was a good conversation. I hope you guys learned a lot about credit cards.
Right.
Keep your balances low.
Yes.
Right. And if you apply for a credit card, make sure that you're in a comfortable position where you know you're going to be guaranteed. That's what I like to do. 100%.
Get with someone who is a specialist in the field of credit to help you understand your credit and help you understand how to budget if you need budgeting help to understand how to get things paid down and keep them that way.
Masters Credit.
Yep.
Masters Credit, throwing out that plug. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us for Wealth Building Monday, episode number 17. Make sure you like, comment,
subscribe.
Yep. Subscribe right now, guys, and make sure that you go in and type in that keyword. We'll see you on Wednesday.
All right.
View what the boss's view. You gotta sacrifice. You wanna move like bosses move.
YMA, Young Millionaires Association. Yeah, see, that's the association. Joe.